Hello my friends and welcome back. This is part 2 of the video that I started earlier, but it was some technical difficulties here and I had to start over. I have two more topics to discuss for the same video, which is the Poles stop loving the Ukrainians. I don't think they ever loved them anyway, but hey, two Polish men detained for tearing down Ukrainian flag from consulate building. They got too many Ukrainians too fast, and even the baboons can notice that. If you want to change a behavior, don't do it really fast, because even the baboons will realize that it's an influx of foreigners that would affect their country. So what do we have here? That's the first one, and the last one, it's about 2 minutes. Europe destroying itself by backing Kiev. According to Tucker Carlson, actually it's more than that. I'm going to move 4 more topics for this one. Tucker Carlson, if you look at the first video I made, the first part of this is the second part, unfortunately, says that the conflict with Russia cannot be won by Ukraine. The US media has lost, host has argued. My point is yes, indeed, they all know it. My point is with Tucker Carlson, which he doesn't know, is he going to point to the people who are destroying Ukraine? Is he going to point to the people who are pushing Ukraine and Europe to self-destruction? Is he going? Because it's very politically incorrect, and I guarantee you Tucker Carlson knows who they are. But this is my only, maybe little by little he's going to reveal who they really are. And this is what he says. They cannot win this war. All it's doing is destroying Europe. It has already destroyed Ukraine. I've said it many times before. Tucker Carlson says it again. He said it as well. Of course, they are not going to beat Russia. Russia is an industrial power, a resource power, a close military ally of China at this point. It's a joke, he added. All they can do is destroy themselves and destroy the world with a nuclear exchange. This is deranged. Correct. Europe is falling apart because the same people and the same ideas that got us into the war have dominated for 80 years. Who are they, Tucker? You know who they are. I call them bazaar people. And it's not only that, it's the economic financial interest, global interest. Ukraine will never retake lost territories. NATO's members defense chief. We know that. Now, I wouldn't say never, because it's always a chance that the Russian leadership collapses and these guys take over with the second echelon or the third echelon, and the guys will become accepting pink hair, bowless men, and fake teeth and so on to men. It's always going to happen, or could happen. The same is not like never. At this point, it's a never, but you don't know tomorrow. We all knew this. Kiev lacks the power to fight back, even with Western help. Italy's Guido Crosetto has said. Yep. To reconquer the territories lost in 2014 and after February 2022 is today considered impossible by everyone. Crosetto told Vespa, escorted by ANSA news agency, Russia will never give them up and Ukraine will not have the strength to reconquer them alone, even with our help. I think so. I think it's right. India suspends new orders from Russia for Russian oil. I don't think India, I think maybe some companies. But hey, let's see what these guys say according to Ukrainska Pravda. Indian oil refineries have not placed new orders for Russian oil since the imposition of fresh sanctions and are awaiting clarification from the government and suppliers. This is from yesterday, the 28th of October 2025. Some refineries are covering their oil needs via the spot market, according to unnamed sources, who spoke on conditional anonymity, and they are authorized by speak to the media, blah, blah. All right, a lot of media tells us about the unnamed sources and anonymity. I can bring you anonymous people each and every time here, and I say, this guy said, but you're not going to see who that guy is. I mean, anonymous sources means I can make up shit. State-owned Indian Oil has issued a tender for the crude purchases, and the Reliance Industries conglomerate has increased spot market purchases. The sources said the EU, UK, and US have imposed a series of sanctions on Russia over its war against Ukraine, including the news. Why? I thought that as an independent India is not at war with Russia. India is not at war with Ukraine. India is not at war with the United States of America or the European Union or the English or the England. I'm not going to call them Great Britain. Why? Because they're in charge. So you try to affect my how should I put it? The free market, capitalist market? No, the capitalist system, economic system. Yeah, they are, because that's the way it works. So whenever you hear the West again, oh, that country doesn't respect the rules of capitalist, of free market enterprise, and ignore them. These guys are doing whatever they want, whenever they want, and they bend the news or violate the news, break the news, the laws, I'm sorry, whenever they feel like. You want to be part of this kind of system? So again, they try to make these guys stop for what? They call it an honorable reason. And the reason is to stop the Russians, their war against Ukraine. Well, some people see it differently. I'm going to tell you how other people see it. No, it is actually some Anglo-Saxon interests that actually created the war in Ukraine by the expansion of NATO towards Russia. And the Russia actually is defending itself and its citizens, or not citizens, its ethnic Russians living abroad, which is Ukraine. And these guys take their ancestral lands back. Can you look at that way? Well, I know a lot of people look at that way. Is it true? I think that, you know what I mean. So again, they try to impose sanctions on India. Why? Because they are having their own interests in or against Russia. What are the interests? Take the Russia's resources, exploit Russia, enslave the Russian people economically, and culturally change that country. It's going to destroy the Russian, I don't know how you want to call it, culture, civilization, traditions, and so on. They're going to turn it into garbage here. Why is that? So they can control it. It's about control and wealth, profits. It's not about, oh my God, the Ukrainians were attacked. Because you have to go, as in any issue, you have to go chronologically. You don't see Gigi smacking Tommy and say, oh my God, Gigi is bad. If you just take that frame, yes, it's bad. But if you check, you find out that Tommy actually, I don't know, beat Gigi's wife or his kids, or even worse. Then Gigi is entitled to beat the shit out of Tommy, isn't he? So the same with Russia. Don't start Russia in Ukraine. In Ukraine, don't start that in 24th of February 2022. It didn't start then. It started in 1991. And not only that, because the West, the English in this case, the English desire to destroy Russia go centuries back, not dozens of years. So it's not like that. I mean, they need small countries, weak countries they can control. That's what it is. And Russia is too big, too strong, too wealthy. Why? It has resources. The war is going to be about resources. Look at what the Americans are doing right now. They go around the world to their jackals, like the Australians and Japanese, and they say, we want your rare earth minerals, and you're going to give to us whatever you got. We need your resources. Why? Because we lost. We lost in Ukraine. We can't take the Russians' resources yet. That's what it is. The key word is yet, my friends. Yet. They will keep trying. This is just an armistice, a pause. And the Russians know it. I wonder when Putin and these guys, the big guys in charge right now, go away. Do they have the second echelon that's gonna do the same thing, work for the Russian people? Or they're gonna sell themselves out like Gorbachev and others? Yeltsin, poor Yeltsin, I don't even have to talk about him. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Bang.